When you're cold or need something to do, cast on a project or see an old one through. Grab a beer, take a seat, frog with a friend or two. Fuck this knit. Fuck this knit. Fuck it.
Hi, and welcome to Fuck This Knit, the podcast where we talk about knitting and we swear a lot. And today is a super special episode. And
So special.
We'll tell you about that later because we got to put you in suspense.
Suspense.
Yeah.
All the suspense.
So, first of all, I am Amber. I am one of the hostesses for this evening. And tonight, I am drinking a Founder's Dirty Bastard.
Very appropriate.
Yes. It is a Scotch-style ale, and it is very, very tasty. And it's got this very angry-looking Scotch dude on the front of it. He's very angry-looking.
Gotta be angry when you're Scottish.
The beer is not that angry. It's very tasty.
Well, my name is Erin, and I am drinking Sparkles Find Some Trouble by Off Color Brewing Company, which I picked up on my adventure weekend in Chicago. And it's their hibiscus goza, and it's fucking delicious.
I enjoy their hand-drawn pen and ink
Oh, I mean,
labels.
Check out how ridiculous that label is.
That cat is great.
It's a kitten going to a box that has a hibiscus on it with like a can of tuna or something and held up with a stick.
That's awesome.
But the stick has a string that's attached to the mouse in the wall.
yes, that's
like,
awesome.
I
Yeah, their
like all
labels
the
are sweet.
sparkles on the label. Like,
And it
that's
does actually have
distracting.
sparkles.
Gotta have sparkles.
Yeah.
It's all
I'm a-
shiny. It
And
makes
I
me
like
wanna
their little
play with it.
mouse logo.
Oh, yeah. Even the bottle cap on this one's cute.
Most adorable beer award goes to...
Me.
I am Emily, and I am drinking the Schlafly Kolsch. Yay! The St. Louis Brewery. This beer always reminds me of when we went to St. Louis and we went to the beer school there at Schlafly and learned that Anheuser-Busch had a terrible monopoly on the beer brewing industry in St. Louis. And
Well, that's why it cracked me up when you were like, Schlafly, St. Louis Brewing Company, because I wanted to add the drinkable St. Louis Brewing Company.
yes. Well, that's their official name. Schlafly is the name of the beer, but the name of their brewery is the St. Louis Brewery. So they make Schlafly, but they're the St. Louis Brewery. And
I
that's,
just hate Anheuser-Busch. And
yeah. And
the
being
conglomerate they
the
become.
St. Louis Brewery, I think, is kind of a fuck you to Anheuser-Busch because they told us at their beer school how Anheuser-Busch had managed to get a law on the St. Louis city books that in order to brew beer in the city of St. Louis, you had to own a Major League Baseball stadium. And
Yeah, that's not a fuck you at
so
all.
when they tried to open the first craft brewery since Prohibition in St. Louis, they had to get that law repealed, and Schlafly was the last name of the lawyer who got that done.
Oh, nice.
That's
Look
really
it,
cool.
I taught you something about beer.
Yes, you did. That's amazing.
That was a cool little story.
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed their beer school. It was free, and you get to taste like 7 of their beers.
Yeah, I really want to do Schlafly. At
They're
some
super
point,
cool.
because I've heard that they're super cool, and I like
And,
quite a few of their
the
beers.
best beer cheese I've ever had in my life there. It was so good.
Okay.
Ash just hates Amber and her yarn. She wants
Right
to
now.
sever all of it.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily that. I think it was the pie incident.
It was totally the
That's
pie
the pie
incident.
We
incident
had
today.
some pie earlier, and for some reason, Ash just really wants that pie.
Amber would not share,
No,
and
it's my
so
pie.
now it's a vendetta.
Yep.
Pie
You must die.
hoarding bitch.
Die for the pie.
All right.
Okay, so on to our first segment. Finished items. Go, Emily.
I only have one. So, full disclosure, we're doing another weird. We're recording way early. So, it's only been a couple weeks since the last time we recorded. So, it's not like everyone is super slow. It's just
Oh, no, I'm
that
super slow.
We're slow.
we're having a weird. I'm standing up for you guys.
We're self-aware.
Okay, fair enough. It's just that we're having a weird recording date. So I have one finished object, and they are my Veritaserum socks, which are designed by me.
And super secret.
And they're secret, but by the time you hear about this, they won't be secret anymore. You'll totally be able to buy them. So
But they're secret in the past, and that's what's really
in
important.
the past, when we were recording this, you literally can't see them because I haven't posted any pictures of them online.
Not
But
true. You posted a picture of their backside.
Oh, yes, I have posted pictures of the backside, but that doesn't count because it's not the pattern. It's just vanilla sock.
Spoiler, the back is vanilla.
Spoiler,
And the yarn is gorgeous.
the underneath of the foot is just a vanilla sock.
I'm shocked. Shocked that you would write a pattern like
Shocked
that.
and appalled.
But yeah, I mean, by the time this comes out, you'll know all about it, that I released a kit with Knox Yarn Co. on Harry Potter's birthday, and a needle runs through it, made our stitch markers, and Stitchy
That's
New
so
Bags is making a bag for us, and it's all very exciting and happy and wonderful. And that released on Harry Potter's birthday, and I'm guessing that by the time this airs, you probably won't be able to get one, but who knows? Maybe they'll be unsuccessful and you'll still be able to get one.
No, they're totally gonna sell out of those.
But
By Aaron alone.
But anyway, you'll be able to buy the You can go to my Ravelry site right now and buy the pattern if you are in the future listening to this.
Worth it.
Yep. The end.
I don't have any finished.
That's it. That's all I got. I got
Yeah.
one.
Okay. Works in progress. Yay!
Woohoo!
So I am actively working on the Lapis Lazuli by Martina Bem. And it's going.
You should tell them about the math you did.
So I mathed it out, and if I did 2 rows every day from where I am, I'd be done in 17 days. And then I decided, I was like, okay, you know what? Let's up the ante a little bit. Let's go ahead and make it 3 rows.
Yeah, because
3
you're
rows.
insane.
And by the way, 2 rows takes me 45 minutes. Or 1 episode of Supernatural. Either way.
That's how I measure time.
That's how I measure time.
Not in Supernatural specifically, but just television episodes.
And so I decided to up the ante to 3. I'm like, it's still 2.5 weeks. What the hell is going on? I'm never going to be finished with this. It's going to be the giant blue blob that never ends.
Yeah, except totally next episode you're gonna be like, oh, I finished my thing.
Well, I'm going to kind of have to at some point because this doesn't belong to me.
At this point, we're recording almost a month and a half after we're recording right now. So, like, you'll
If you're not
probably be
finished
done
by then, I will be absolutely just flabbergasted. My ghast will be flabbered.
Yeah,
Like, hands down.
hands down. So the other active thing that's going on that's not as active right now, because, you know, monthage, the Tosh shawl, because we're all working on that.
Yep. I'm caught up now because
I'm
I
not.
got my yarn way earlier than you guys, so cheating.
I still don't have my yarn,
Yeah.
but I probably
I have my yarn,
will.
but I haven't finished last month's clue yet,
Yeah.
so I'm behind.
We're all at different stages, but you know what? We're all working on it, and that's the important part. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's it for my whips.
I am currently right now working on my Hitchhiker by Martina Bem in my hand spun, made from deep dyed yarns fiber, which is ironic for spoiler reasons. I have like a slightly smaller than a baseball size amount left, and I'm planning on knitting it until I run out. So that's where I'm at. Gotta finish it for the state fair.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm working on my Raina, and I started working on a Nightfall out of some hand spun myself. I've had to rip that out completely, so we'll see if that's what it's going to continue to be when it grows up in time for the state fair.
Yeah, I'm also spinning for the state fair. I just finished doing singles of my 100% wool entry, so I'm going to apply those sometime this week. And then I just have to do my milk fiber, and I'm good on spinning.
Yeah, I'm so far behind. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm more behind than you.
Yeah.
And the other thing I'm working on is also for the state fair, my Varda socks by Wimp Woman Designs. I have 1 sock done! So I have a hoe, a half object. And they are really pretty, but oh man, I'm back on the leg because I'm doing the second sock, so I'm doing the leg again, and it just takes so long.
Second sock syndrome hitting you?
Oh yeah, real hard. It's real hard. It's just so time consuming because the pattern is on all around the leg, so it takes literally twice as long as doing the foot. But someday I will be past the heel flap and onto the foot, and then I will believe that I can get these done in time for the state fair. But right now I'm like, this isn't gonna happen.
That's me and my spinning right now, since
In which case I'll probably enter, like, these aren't as impressive. The Veritaseum socks are pretty, and I'm not like negging myself, but they're not like fully cabled like the Varda socks. So, but I'll probably enter those if I can't get the Varda socks done in time.
oh yeah.
And I'm working on my Coziest Memories blanket, which is my scrap blanket. I think that's it. I have another secret pattern thing that I can't talk about on the podcast. Welcome to my life now, guys. Sorry. That I'm waiting on yarn for. So then I'll be doing that a bunch.
Yep, nope. Raina, potential nightfall. Although currently not on the needles. Still counting it. Spinning. Because I've entered like 900 things for the state fair under
All the
spinning. And I
things.
have like not any of them done. And I'm leaving for 2.5 weeks for work. Fuck my life.
I'm also like not casting stuff on right now because of this hitchhiker I'm working on right now, because this end, the very end of the hitchhiker, I have a hard time with it because the rows get bigger and bigger and it's just garter stitch. So I really like it in the beginning, and then at the end I'm like, ooh, this is kind of a slog now. So I'm making myself work on this so it gets done.
Yeah, no, I'm suffering from startitis right now so hard. Just because this Raina is gorgeous, but it's like never ending.
Yeah, I was too. I went, where'd I go? I don't know. I went somewhere over the weekend. Just a friend's house, I think. And I was bringing projects with me. Oh, it was D&D, actually. And I was like, ooh, I should bring something new. I was like, well, I can't because I'm doing all the state fair stuff, and I really shouldn't start anything. So I threw my dad's socks in my backpack, which are those vanilla socks that I've been working on for my dad. I haven't worked on them in like over a month. And then I didn't actually work on them. I just worked on this hitchhiker. But they made me feel better because they were there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I get it. Because if trying to figure out what to take on my next business trip, because if this is not done, which honestly, like,
We have very similar sized yarn
yeah,
balls
we
and
have, like,
stuff right now.
yeah, very similarly sized baseball sized yarn balls, but yours gets smaller and mine just stays the same somehow.
Well, I haven't
You
been
bought me
ripping
never
mine
ending.
back.
You bought me never ending yarn for my birthday. Thanks.
You're welcome. It's a gobstopper.
It's the everlasting gobstopper of yarn. But yeah, I'm going to bring this, my state fair shawl, and then probably something simple in case this gets done, because my brain's going to be shot.
Fair enough.
So, Emily, you aren't casting on anything new.
Nope. I just announced that.
Erin is not casting on anything new.
Nope, I discussed my nightfall, but not nightfall, but probably nightfall again. That was it.
I have 2 items.
Oh.
Slut.
And actually, they are both test knits for Emily.
You are my
yeah.
slave now.
Yeah.
I have become Emily's personal test knitter, and I
Yeah,
don't.
you guys
It's
have
really
fun with that
nice.
relationship.
I trust you.
I don't regret it yet.
Mostly.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yet.
Mostly.
I'm actually knitting on her geodesic cowl right now, and it's a fun little pattern. I just haven't had all that much time to work on it in between the blue blob,
I want to test
3
knit the next thing.
3 rows
Yeah.
a day.
Yeah. That thing, the secret thing.
The secret thing. Cool.
Yeah.
And I also casted on the Veritaserum socks, which
I really like your yarn for that.
the
They're
yarn
looking
is
real good.
really awesome. I didn't bring it with me today, unfortunately, because I didn't have room in my backpack with all the other items that we get to talk about in a minute.
Oops.
Yay! But yeah,
Yeah.
so I've casted on 2 of Emily's designs, and they're fun. They're great fun. You should go download them.
Thanks.
I'm not getting a cut, I promise. As
Yeah, I think with the
sip my beer.
Oh no, the geodesic cowl will have either just released or be just about to release by the time this comes out.
And it doesn't matter. People can go find it.
Just about to release.
Yeah, go find it. Okay, stash enhancements.
Hey, that happened.
A lot of that happened.
So much
Who
of that
wants to
happened.
go first?
Well, I think Aaron's was
Aaron's was first chronologically.
chronologically.
Okay.
So we'll let you go first.
All right, well, let me dip into the giant bag here.
Bag of goodies.
Okay. Well, first thing out of the bag is the Deep Dyed Yarns mini skein set. In Glammy, it's 700 yards
Of yummy.
of yummy.
It's like just a bundle of Aaron's colors. It's just like teal, purple, green.
I
There's
mean,
a
it
gray in
had to
there.
come home with me, yeah, because I'm really big into grays with all these colors too. So at some point, I think I'm going to try and design or knit a shawl out of it.
You said the D word.
I did say the
did.
D word.
I infected you.
You have. Literally, after we did the secret thing that we're going to talk about here in a little bit, on the way back from the secret thing, I'm like in the back of the car, like half falling asleep. And then my brain went, oh, you should design this thing. I was like, oh, fuck.
Do you need a test knitter?
I will eventually, but I'm not going to start actually putting, I wrote it down so that I don't forget what my idea was.
That's
good.
important.
Right,
yeah.
because I literally was just like half asleep. But I'm going to work on that after
All the things.
all the things. So, yeah, because I have ideas. Plus, I haven't looked to make sure that nobody else has had ideas. So, but yeah, stay tuned. I'm going to be designing soon.
Cool.
And then I went to Chicago for an adventure weekend with my boyfriend and fell down went boom in a yarn store.
Surprise.
So, first up from that adventure is Merino Singles by Hedgehog Fibers.
Yay!
Yeah, colorway Bounce. It's eye-searingly bright.
It's like electric green and teal.
Teal
and
and
it has
some yellow and black speckles. And no fucking clue what that's going to be, but it needed to come home.
It reminds me of their budgie colorway, but like the acid trip version of it because of the brights.
And then I bought what's probably going to end up being an eye-searing exploration station.
Hee hee.
So, yeah. Also, your
I'm
fault.
infecting you everywhere.
As long as you don't give me the plague, I think we'll be okay.
Just the yarn plague.
Yeah, I might have to hit you about the design thing eventually. We'll see. So I bought some Bah, B-A-A-H.
Different than previous Ba we have talked about.
Yes, we've had a previous Bah yarns. This is a different Bah yarns. It has 2 A's. And I bought 1 skein of their La Jola, which is 100% superwash merino.
So I think it's possibly La Hala just because of
Maybe.
the La, but I'm not 100% sure.
LA space JOLLA in their winter purple colorway. That's my solid. And then I bought 3 skeins of their what exploration station, damn it. Takes 4
You
skeins.
need 4 colors.
You need 4 colors. So I bought 3 skeins of their Savannah base, which is 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, and 80% superwash merino. And I bought 3 of their dipped and dyed colorways. So like maybe a third of the skein is actually a solid, and then the rest is just speckled.
I like it.
So I bought Make My Heart Sing, which is most like solid gray with green, blue, teal, orange, yellow speckles.
Emphasis on the speckles.
lots and lots of speckles.
So many speckles. And Tequila Sunset,
He
which is lime green solid bit with eye-searing pink speckles.
So is the tequila sunset is the green supposed to be like the puke after your tequila binge?
Oh, I wonder.
I don't know, because I hear Tequila Sunset and as a bartender I'm going, okay, well that's just tequila, OJ, and grenadine, and that looks nothing like that. But okay.
I thought that was a tequila,
Tequila sunrise is that.
Oh yeah, sunset, sunrise, whatever.
Well, I mean, the sunset is after your whole day of drinking tequila.
Yeah, see, that won't ever happen to me because I don't do tequila.
Hey,
and
neither
you
do I.
can't do
I can't.
tequila.
No.
I like tequila.
You're gross. And the last of those colors is Violet Martini, which is purple solid with like green and orange speckles.
I think that one's my favorite.
I couldn't decide between the 3, so then I just brought all 3 of them home and decided it's going to be just eye-searing, which is absolutely
That's
fine
the
by
way
me.
to do Stephen West. That's how he wants it done.
I've not done Stephen West before, so this will be
You're
entertaining.
going to like it. His patterns are very well written and fun.
And I brought home 2 braids of fiber.
That's actually my favorite purchase that you
It
made.
really, absolutely 100% mine too. By Goody Supply Company?
Don't know.
Yeah, never heard of them in my life.
Apparently they're great though.
Yeah, no, this is their Zebra Sparkle Pullworth, which is 60% pull with wool, 20% Firestar, and 20% Black Tussa Silk. Fuck me running. It's fucking gorgeous. This is their Soupçon de Lilas, or Lilas, shaded solids. So it's gray and black with hints of like
a lavender.
lavender. Not, I mean, seriously and really and truly, just hints of lavender in this gray and black, and it's going to spin up amazing. And I really want to achieve lace weight with this, so I can knit a big fuck all shawl with it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so that, I mean, I bought 2 of the same thing for that reason. But they had other ones just like this, but with like, there was one that was hints of like a darker purple, and one that was like hints of teal, but all in this like gray and black. It was
Like
surprising that I didn't bring home nothing but all this fiber. And that's it for me. So yeah, I definitely had some stash enhancement.
Emily, you want to go ahead?
Sure. I bought things.
Well, that's very specific of you.
Yeah. So Tuscan Knits had a D-Sash sale where she was getting rid of some stuff that she had sitting around that had either like hadn't sold or was like her test skeins, and the ones I got are test skeins. They're one of a kind, and they're like a really dark red. She calls it ruby red with black speckles. and they are going to be some sort of a short sleeve sweater.
Oh yeah, I totally did not see the black speckles from over
They're
there.
really subtle.
Yeah.
But I thought they'd make a really nice. They'd be a really nice sweater. I tried to get 4 skeins to make a full size sweater, but she didn't have 4, so I got the 3, and they will be some sort of a partial sleeve sweater.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
my
very
plan.
pretty.
They're really good.
But yeah, they're really nice because they were 40% off, so they were only $14 a skein.
Oh yeah, no, the yarn store I went to, everything was 40% off, and I about had a heart attack because I had originally planned just to try and buy an exploration station out of Hedgehog Fibers, but they were pretty much out of everything that was not worsted.
That'll happen when it's 40% off.
Oh yeah, so I bought the 1 skein of worsted and then just went a little crazy, go nuts, and spent as much as I was planning on spending. Beautiful,
Sweets.
gotta love it.
And then the other thing I have is a skein of Volenvine yarns, which actually Amber was just like, why are you buying yarn? And I have been trying to buy Volenvine yarns for like the past few months, but her shop sells out literally immediately.
Yeah, I see the sparkles and it needs to come.
So
play
I
with
have
me.
been cart jacked many times.
Those sparkles are gold.
Yes, this is a skein of her Blitz base, which is one of her most popular bases because it has gold stellina. It is a skein of Coven, which is a kind of tonal purpley biz. It's technically a misfit. I think that means that it doesn't have dye lot buddies, or that it's like slightly wrong. I think it's a little lighter than her regular Coven colorway is, but I don't care because it's just going to be some sparkly socks.
Yeah, no, it's very pretty.
It's really pretty.
Yep, so I got that. And then the other stuff that I got from Amber Stash. We're going to do a will spin for fluff exchange. So I'm going to spin up a braid of fluff and give the yarn to Amber, and she gave me some fluff in return for doing that for her, which is cool. So they're both from Mad Color.
Surprise,
Girl.
surprise.
But that's exciting because this is my first Mad Color stash because I have never been a member of the club or
yeah.
anything. So it's like, oh, yay,
we were-
baby's first Mad Color.
And it's off with her head.
Yes. So the one that I'm going to spin up for Amber is The Unexpected Journey. And it's like jewel tones and Hobbit inspired. And I'm like, all I want to do is start spinning that. But I really need to spin my State Fair things. So, meh.
Yes, yes. Do your things
And
first.
then the one that I got for me is called Off With Her Head because I am big into the Alice in Wonderland. So it needed to come home with me. And it is red and blue and white and yellow and black and
Very primary.
very primary.
Very, very primary. Yeah.
Funny story about that particular stash. So Erin and I have been doing the Mad Color clubs for quite some time, and that one in particular, I had gotten the yarn for, and then Erin had gotten the fiber for, and decided that primary colors were too clown-like
Nope, can't do it. Clown phobic. Not living in my house.
and needed to go live with me instead.
Yep.
And me being the super ridiculous slow spinner that I am, it's just kind of sat there.
Does this mean that we have all owned this at some point?
Yes.
That's great.
Yes, it does, because that was originally mine, but it reminds me of the skein of Volmizer that I gave you for helping me move, because same
Yes.
thing.
Yes.
Clown-like needs to go.
Clown-like.
I wonder if I spin it with another fluff of a different color, if I could declown it and then like give it back to you unknowingly.
And the circle continues.
Yeah, it's the
Then I'd
circle
have to
of
knit
fluff.
something for Amber.
Okay, this is getting a little too ridiculous, you guys. Okay.
I mean, have you met us?
Yeah. Is your enhancement done, Emily?
Yes.
Okay. Now I get to go on to my enhancement.
Yay!
Mine doesn't happen very often, and when it does,
Yeah, neither does mine.
it's kind of I didn't have to buy it.
Yeah, that was
You
pretty
earned
awesome.
it.
You worked for
I
that.
knitted for it, as will work for yarn. Yeah. So the whippet that I made was sent off. She received it, and she gave me monies, gift certificate to Jimmy Beam Wool. So I immediately went out and spent all of it,
Like you do.
and then some. 'Cause,
I mean, like you do.
yeah. But I ended up with 5 skeins of Madeline Tosh Dandelion, which is their wool linen, and it is super lovely.
Yeah, it's so nice.
It's very nice.
And it's the Nighthawk color, so it's this gray, and it has the like a greeny yellow and purple and pink and the blue tealy
It's
thing.
fucking gorgeous, is what she's trying to say.
And I was a little concerned ordering it, but once I got it, I'm like, nope, no longer concerned. This is gorgeous. I love it. I'm so happy with it. So I am going to turn this into my very own Whippet, the short version, not the super long version. And I'm hoping it'll turn out well, although it's going to be a while before I get to that. And then the other thing that I bought after squeezing some of Erin's stash enhancements from Chicago,
Yeah.
I decided I needed some of the Ba La Jolla.
I'm sure I
Jolala.
could figure out how to pronounce this if I spent like 2 seconds looking it up.
You know what? It's more fun to hear us
The
mispronounce
ball yarn,
it.
yeah.
Yeah. And then I ended up in the colors Mystique and Gray Onyx.
Mm-hmm.
And those two are going to be matched up with my stash enhancement from a couple times ago of the Socks That Rock.
Yeah.
In the purple princess, purple violetta thingy. And they are going to be a color affection.
It's totally Lahala.
Lahala.
Because it's named after the city. Because yours is Savannah for Savannah,
Yeah.
Georgia, right?
Sure, why not?
Here, YouTube.
Loyola.
Oh. No, that sounded fucked up. What is that?
La Yola.
Yeah, La Yola.
La Jolla, California.
Yeah, La Jolla.
La Jolla.
I like the other one.
La Holga.
La Jolla.
Yeah, La Jolla is how it's like spelled to pronounce it. That was like an LA people thing.
Oh.
West Coast. I have no clue what's going on over there.
I mean, I have a vague clue, but that's only because my brother lives out there.
Oh, but that was my stash enhancement. Yay! It's all pretty.
It's an exciting month for stash enhancement.
There's a
Oh, I
lot of
forgot
stash
one
enhancement.
because my
Oh my
socks were in
goodness.
I got something from Deep Dyed Yarns.
Oh, yeah.
In a
Yeah.
colorway you already have.
Shh, no. Is it? But this
Yeah.
is fluff, and the other thing I have is yarn with sparkles.
That makes
in
it different.
It does make it different.
It's still the same colorway.
Maybe. Yeah, but it is black and purple and pinky and orange, and it's the same blend of fluff as the fluff that I used to make the hitchhiker I'm working on right now. And I bought it because I really like this yarn that I made, so I'm gonna make more.
Makes sense to me. Mm-hmm. So no one forgot any stash enhancement?
No, I'm good now.
Skeins hiding anywhere?
Nope.
Awesome. Onward to news.
News.
You got any news?
The news that we're talking about later.
Dun dun dun.
This is the last episode that we are recording before Dragon Con.
Oh, yeah.
So, Dragon Con, Aaron and I will both be there. We will carry buttons around with us. So, if you see us in the sea of humanity
That
is
is
Dragon
Dragon Con.
Con, chase us down for some buttons.
Yeah, I should. Basically, if you see somebody with a lot of Snow White tattoos on a calf who vaguely is maybe dressed up like Snow White,
Yeah, and I have flowers on one arm and a Disney castle on the other arm. So, like, we're both pretty easy to spot. But, yeah.
yeah, my hair will probably be some variation of black, blue, and red like it was last year. But yeah, so if you want to try and meet up with us at Dragon Con, another good thing to do is let us know on the forums.
Yeah, because we could, like, schedule that if that is a thing you want to do.
Yeah, so if any of you are going to Dragon Con, let us know in the forum.
I'll make a thread about Dragon Con in the forum. So we can,
Good call.
if anyone wants to be like, I'm going to that thing.
It'll be awesome. We had so much fun last year.
So that's it in the news circle. So now we get to talk about our super awesome special episode of Secretness that we've been alluding to this entire time.
Yay!
Podcasters gone wild. Woo.
Kinda.
It's about as wild as we get.
Yeah. Onward and upwards. So we made a trip out to an indie dyer,
We hit the road.
We did.
and
Tuck this knit on the road.
we actually recorded an interview with Stephanie of Deep Dyed Yarns. Yeah. But we interviewed Stephanie from Deep Dyed Yarns, and she was very lovely. We had a great time.
We really did.
And she then let us dye some yarn of our own.
Yay!
We learned how to dye.
We
It
did.
was awesome.
We put colors on things.
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of
I had a
fun.
great time with that, and We got to see.
I definitely learned some stuff.
Yeah, we got to see her little workshop. We got to learn a lot.
Yeah, we recorded the episode live on location. I mean, not live, just on location. That's how that word works. In her shop, A Tangled Yarn in Nicholasville, Kentucky. And that's also where she has her dye studio for deep dyed yarns.
Yeah, it's a cute little dye studio. It's like a little
baby.
like little corner back in there. It's really cool. She
Army
has
of crock pots.
she has a really awesome setup back in there.
Oh, yeah. It's tiny, but amazing, which means that as tiny as it is, I can totally do that in my apartment. Dun, dun, dun. I just need to look for crock pots at, like, Goodwill.
Yeah, I was going to say Goodwill.
Yeah. And then it's going to be on, bitches. The first thing we noticed when we were getting set up for our dyeing adventure was the Crazy Monkey skein winder
Yeah, that thing was awesome.
That thing was so cool.
with the skein minder attachment with the
And
big,
the
red, button.
It was a yarn robot with a
had
big red button.
To push the button.
Yes.
Yeah.
Button.
A better explanation of it is it's an automatic skein winder.
But the button.
Yeah, it had a big red button. Like
Yeah, it had a
cartoon
giant red button. So, yeah, so we watched our yarn get skeined up. She pre-soaked it for a minute. Do not soak in citric acid. That was a pro tip.
We learned that.
You soak in hot water with a couple of drops of like Dawn dishwashing liquid. Unscented is best because of the essential oils. I remember that part. Also, never fill the bottle. So we basically did hand painting.
We did hand dyeing, yeah.
So she had like really awesome like little condiment bottles, and we got to pick what colors we wanted to do, which was awesome. And
all along the same family of colors because we have similar tastes.
yeah,
Yep.
purple and greens for life. But yeah, she also said just never fill that bottle up to the top because it gives you room to shake things and get it all properly mixed. And then we proceeded to go
Squirt color on yarn.
and make little yarn burritos and then turn them into little yarn snails.
Or
and-
cinnamon rolls.
Or cinnamon
Snails.
rolls.
I'm going with
thinking
snails.
I like cinnamon rolls.
I mean, everyone likes, well, I shouldn't say everyone. A lot of people like cinnamon rolls, but they were totally snails.
Yeah, we wrapped them up in like,
Cellophane.
yeah, food grade service saran wrap, which is the best saran wrap, and put them in the steamer basket on our stovetop and hung out with her and knit for a while. And then
While they were cooking, we cooked some yarn.
we cooked our yarn and hung out and knit inside of a yarn shop, hence the fact that Emily and I both have
That's when we bought things.
deep dyed yarn stash enhancement. Oops. Because it turns out you leave us in a yarn store like that for that long and something's coming home. It was super awesome.
Yep.
And we had a great time.
And good news for you guys.
Yeah. Way good news for you guys.
Stephanie also did some hand-painted yarn with us. And she was nice enough to send that home with us so that we can give it away to you guys.
Yay!
Yay!
With the best yarn name ever.
Yes. She named it One of a Kind F This Knit. Yay! And it is greens and teals and purple and gray. And it is on her Buddy base, which is a Corriedale nylon blend. So perfect for socks.
Squishy.
And she also sent us a big old handful of her buttons.
Random buttons that are awesome. Because I've purchased her buttons before at Kentucky Sheep and Wool.
Yeah, I remember that one of them says "I like big balls" and it has a yarn ball on it. So
I think
they're
one
very
has-
much in our.
Has the crown and it says keep calm and carry yarn.
There was one about a happy hooker.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have one about hookers, so crochet people, you're included too.
But yeah, so
So we have that to give to you. The way that you can enter that is by going on the Fuck This Knit forum. I will have a thread open for the giveaway, and there will be a rafflecopter you can enter. Another way that you could find the rafflecopter is by going to fuckthisknit.com, and there will be a blog post that is titled Deep Dyed Yarns Giveaway, and you can click there to enter.
But yeah, so we had a lot of fun.
and we all ended up with that stash enhancement as well. That
Yes,
we couldn't
so we
talk
all
about
got
the
to
proper
take
stash
home-
enhancement.
Yep, we all got to take home our little custom skein that we made, which was very, very nice.
Super sweet.
I don't know. I'm so like, I'm just going to hoard it forever. I don't know if I'm going to ever knit anything with
I'm probably going to knit something out of mine, but I don't know what. Because I was thinking shawl when I dyed it.
Mine's probably going to be socks if you don't have thoughts.
I have no thoughts.
I just want to take it home and squish it. That's
Yeah.
all I know.
Yeah.
It's just
it's
pretty.
been in my house since we did the dyeing and recording because it was kind of wet when we were finished. So I just let it dry on a drying rack in my house.
And we wanted to make sure that the whole family of yarn was there for family group
Yes, and
photo.
I took a picture of them today while the sun was still out.
Oh,
so
good
I
call.
already did that thing.
Yeah, but we had a great time.
Yeah,
I'm sure Stephanie had a
Stephanie's
great
awesome.
time. And now
We talk about all the ways that you can find her on the interweb and in real life at many festivals during the interview.
Yes.
And speaking of said interview, now you can listen to it.
Now it's time for the interview.
Hi, and welcome to a special segment of Fuck This Knit.
Yay.
Yay! We have a special guest for you guys to hear from, which is super awesome. Would you like to introduce yourself, special guest?
Hi, I'm Stephanie Stratton with Deep Dyed Knits in Nicholasville, Kentucky.
Yay!
Yay.
We are sitting in her very beautiful yarn store right now. This is nice. We're like on location recording. We're surrounded by beautiful yarn, wheels, and
So
a
many
cat.
wheels.
The wool fumes are real.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard.
it's dangerous.
It's hard, guys.
The things we do for you guys.
Yeah. Stephanie, would you like to introduce yourself by saying what your favorite beer is and what your favorite swear word is?
Oh, my favorite beer would have to be Yingling. You know, it's the oldest brewery in America. Come on, you can't go wrong, right?
It's the OG.
Yeah, and swear word, I'd probably say fuck a lot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just say it in my head.
We
but-
don't like that one at all.
Yeah.
No.
Sometimes it's fuck, kind of combined with several others.
Fuck nuggets.
Yeah.
Fuck
It
shit,
depends
damn.
upon how mad I am.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So we have a couple questions for you. So Stephanie is a local yarn dyer, and we are going to ask her some questions about dyeing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have the question book.
I
You
do
do.
have the question book. I'm so bad at this. So the first thing everyone wants to know is how you got into dyeing.
How I got into dyeing. Wow, that's kind of a little convoluted story.
We like stories.
So
Stories are
let's-
good.
Let's start in 1997.
Okay.
Back in 1997, I'm on a flight from London Heathrow to JFK. And, those are long-ass flights. So I'm on the flight, and I'm sitting, and, the night before, a whole bunch of us had gone out. So I'm a little hungover, and I had one of my mom's. I'm in my 20s. I'm in my late 20s. So I have one of my mom's sleeping pills that she gave me. I had two. I had one for the way over and one for the way back. Because by the time I wake up, it's going to be morning. Anywhere I land, it doesn't matter. So I have one for the way back, and I'd take my sleeping pill as soon as I get on the plane, because back then it was wonderful. On those international flights, they'd give you this wonderful little meal, and you'd get an entire personal bottle of wine. Not a big, huge bottle of wine, but it was like
A
a
little
glass
baby.
full. Yeah, a little baby glass of wine. It was wonderful. So I'd take that sleeping pill, drink that glass of wine, and I would pass out. And so I'm on the plane, and I'm talking to this wonderful lady sitting next to me, and she pulls out a baby blanket she's knitting with yarn she bought in Scotland. I was in Scotland too.
Yeah.
So I have this, I'm sitting there and I'm just asking her questions. I'm like, okay, what are you doing at the end there? And okay, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? She's like, oh, honey, just when you get home, go find a yarn shop. And I watched her for, I'd say I watched her until I passed out. So I passed out. I woke up, and I'm like the last person off the plane. Everybody else has gotten off. I get off the plane, and I get home, and I'm like, okay, let me go find some cheap yarn. So, of course, the first place I went was that place that shall not be named. And it shall not be named because we don't shop there anymore.
No.
So I go to that awful place, and I buy needles and some cheap, I think, Karen Simply Soft yarn.
Which is not awful.
No, it isn't. It is a nice soft yarn and reasonably priced for somebody learning.
Oh, yeah.
But it was fingering weight, so I didn't understand yarn weights at the time. I just got little needles that looked like they went with little yarn, and I started knitting a baby Afghan. And
In fingering way.
Fingering on.
Right, like my
yarn.
face just went, what?
Yeah. Well, I got halfway through it, and I was like, okay, this is getting really, really boring. So I went to the local yarn shop up the road. I didn't have a yarn shop then. Went to the yarn shop up the road. I bought some yarn and a little, pattern and some needles to go with the pattern. And I start knitting it, and I'm like, why is this not turning out? I know I can read these directions. I've kind of learned a little bit. These are simple. This says knit, that says purl, and that wasn't anything fancier than knit and purl. And I taught myself how to knit in the round, cast on, no instruction whatsoever. I'm doing this pattern, and it was years later that I figured out I learned how to knit back and forth when I watched that woman. I didn't know you had to turn.
Oh, yeah. Turning. It's a thing.
Yeah. Because I started out, I was like, well, I'll just knit flat first, and then I'll join in the round until I'm comfortable with all the needles, and So it all snowballed into 2005. In 2005, we had the snowball movement. That's what I kind of like to call it, the snowball movement. So I got interested in how yarn was made. So I go on eBay, which is kind of where you went those days to find your wheel. I go on eBay and buy a wheel, cheap wheel, but it's I still have it. It's a great little wheel to spin on, and started spinning. And then I was kind of like, well, about a month later, a friend of mine takes me to a spin-in. I'd never been to a spin-in. I didn't know they existed. I didn't know that other people spun yarn. So, yeah, it was all like a whole little world was opening up to me. And so I go and I start spinning yarn at this spin-in, and I buy all these pretty hand-dyed things, and I'm like, well, I can do that. So I start playing around with some Kool-Aid. And the next thing you know, I'm like, okay, I have a lot of extra yarn. So I start selling it on Etsy. And from there, I was like, well, I've kind of run out of yarn to sell. Maybe I should buy some more fiber. Oh, wait, maybe people will be interested in fiber. Oh, wait, I can't keep up with all these people wanting yarn. Maybe I should buy pre-spun yarn. Oh, wait, oh, shit, this has taken over my kitchen, my living room, my dining room, the garage, and the spare bedroom. It was either open a shop or get a divorce. So now I have a shop.
Life goals.
So you see, I'm giving you guys ideas of how you can open a shop on your own. You just take over the entire house and threaten to go into the man cave, and before you know it, you're going to have a building and a shop.
Yeah, no, life goals. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, so that's what happened. And I did my very first fiber festival in 2007. So this is my 10-year anniversary. Yeah.
Crushing it.
I should probably do like some kind of
Yeah, you should
special
do it.
or
Really
something.
should.
Yeah.
Or a special color. So you basically learned to knit, and then that all snowballed into owning a yarn store.
It did.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So dyeing wise, what's like your favorite color to dye?
Oh. Well, here's the thing. When I start dyeing them, they're all my favorite colors. After I've dyed 100 of that color, I kind of hate it.
That makes sense, though.
So if I ever dye a color anybody likes and you think you need it, I would buy it, because after about a year, I'm just going to say, not doing it anymore. I can't look at it anymore. Everybody's kind of laughing at Fred. He's in his cat bed kneading the side of it.
Making some biscuits.
He's just a really sweet, sweet kitty.
He's very cute.
And so,
Happy boy.
yes, he is. He is a very happy cat. Very spoiled cat. I've had Fred since we opened in 2011.
Oh, Fred. So have you been in this location the whole existence?
No, just I opened the shop in 2011. Before that, everything was run from my house.
Cool.
I kind of miss being at my house because I'm not very, as you guys well know from this morning, I'm not very good at being on time.
Oh, no,
Actually-
I loved the fact that your sign says for the shop hours, all of the beginning is something-ish.
Yeah,
I feel that, though.
and I'm very
It makes
honest
sense.
about that. I'm like, I am not good at being on time. If you have to force me to be on time, I'm going to be late every time. Actually, technically, we were supposed to be here at 12, and I was 15 minutes early.
We did show up early.
we did make great time today on the road.
You did,
It's
you
just
did.
so easy to go so fast on that highway.
Well, and Sundays, it's so slow. It's such a slow drive.
So what's your favorite fiber to dye?
Wool.
Wool.
Do you have a particular breed or just...
I really am. I am a snob, but I'm not. I like trying new fibers. I like trying. I'll try anything once. Sometimes that's a stupid thing to do, but
Nope.
but I'll try anything once, because you have to try the good with the bad to know what you like. I really like Targhee right now. Really,
think I
really
ever
like
used
the
Targhee.
Targhee.
I don't think I've
spinning
spun a
fiber.
Targhee. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Or played with Targhee.
That stuff, it's amazing. Because it's really soft, and you're like, I think it's softer than Polworth. It's
Nice.
not quite merino, but it's softer than Polworth. And the first time I spun it, I was like, I'm spinning it, and I'm like, wow, this is kind of, it's really nice to spin, because you know how when people say this is just so easy, it spins like butter. I mean, it just, it almost just glides onto the wheel.
Nice.
Or at least that's how I feel. But it glides onto the wheel, and then I'm plying it. And I'm like, I really don't like how it's plying up, because I know I put enough twist in it, and I know I'm plying it correctly, and it just didn't look good. And then I washed it, and oh my gosh, it was like a little, just spongy and beautiful and, you know, and nice pearly bumps. And I love yarn.
Yarn is great.
We too love yarn.
We
Yeah.
have those feelings. So we're going to be learning to dye a little bit with Stephanie later,
It's
which
so
we'll take some
exciting.
videos for you guys for that. So check out our YouTubes. But do you have any suggestions for people who are interested in learning how to dye, how to get started?
Take a class and don't.
That's a good tip. I like it.
Take
Be legit.
a class. Please. I mean, I when I was starting out, I mean, it was a whole bunch of trial and error. I ruined a lot of shit. I'm enjoying this because I can say shit.
You
Shit,
can.
Yes, you can.
Encourage it.
great.
Please say shit.
So, I mean, I destroyed a lot of yarn and fiber because I just didn't know what I was doing. And I'm one of those people, it's like, I can't sell this. I wouldn't want to. If I fuck it up, that goes into my personal stash. Or I kind of look at somebody, I'm like, look, this is going to bleed when you knit with it. After you knit it and you wash it, it's going to bleed. I guarantee it's going to bleed. You know, so here, have fun. Because to me, if you're going to buy yarn from somebody, the worst thing that can happen is you've spent hours and hours and hours knitting. I mean, sometimes, it takes a long time. Come on, let's face it. I keep wanting to do the Find Your Fade shawl. And
With
the
all
thing
the
that,
dye on
Yeah.
the thing that puts me off is I'm like, that's a lot of straight up garter stitch.
It is.
You know,
It is.
But I mean, it could be a mindless project. I mean, it could be.
I would
fun.
totally knit that at the bar. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to knit that. I think that's my next project.
We went stash diving in Amber's stash last week and picked out a fade for her, and I think she was a little bit like, I wasn't intending on knitting one of those guys.
I was not at
But
all.
we're like, but you could look at this. It works great.
Because right now I'm knitting miles and miles and miles of stockinette, and I really don't like the idea of knitting miles and miles and miles of garter.
So let me ask you a question. After knitting those miles and miles and miles and miles of stockinette, do you want to put your garment that you've knit in a tub and see all the color like bleed out into the water?
No,
No, then
and
you
I've
would light
actually
things on
had
fire.
that happen to me.
Doesn't that piss you
years
off?
ago?
And maybe you've used a light color yarn with it, and that light color or white color or whatever you've used turns pink.
Thankfully
or
for
blue.
me, the yarn in question, I don't even know if this dye is still in business, but this was years ago. I knit.
Well, let's not mention
I'm
any
not.
names.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even know if they're in business. Don't care. I'm not buying it again. But the yarn in question, I knit a pair of socks out of, and it was like my second pair of socks. And I washed them, and it was like hot pink and black.
Yeah.
And the hot pink almost entirely washed out of one of them. Mm-hmm. The other one actually held up better because I'd made a rookie mistake and forgot to check the dye numbers.
Yeah.
So I had different lots, but one lot did not hold the color at all. So I still have those socks, but one's like such barely pink and barely gray, and the other sock is still kind of pink and black.
You should have brought them. We could have overdyed them.
Yeah.
It would have been fun.
Oh, at this point, they're starting to fall apart. They're old.
Oh,
Yeah.
retired soon.
Yeah, they're retiring soon. It's fine.
Turn them into kitty toys.
Maybe.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I've never thought of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, stitch them up and put some little catnip and stuffing inside them. Cats will go crazy.
I like it.
Well, right now I'm still trying to teach a certain kitten that I own to that yarn is not our thing. So
Well, and I think there's a thing out there. I'll have to dig around in Fred's toy basket because one of my customers made it. But she takes old socks. Mm-hmm. Well, not old socks, but they're new socks. And she makes little sock monsters out of them. So she cuts up the sock and sews it. And, Fred has one.
So when you're dyeing yarn, like how do you decide on which colors and color combinations you choose? Or do you even have like a method to your
Yeah,
madness?
where does your inspiration come from?
I often think that myself. I'm like, how the hell do I come up with these colors? Usually, sometimes I'll have inspiration. Like I'll look at something and say, oh, wow, those colors all look good together. Maybe I should pull out some colors. But then as I'm dyeing it in the pot, I'm like, I don't like this color. Let's try this other purple, or let's try this other green or other blue. So a lot of times I have test skeins. It's like,
absolutely.
yeah, it's like, hello, gorgeous, test 1, test 2, test 3, and oh, wait, the final version right here. But, it's because I really don't know. I do know what it's going to look like, and I know what I want. But sometimes what I initially think and what I end up with are two totally different things. Sometimes it just pops in my head. Sometimes I'm like, oh, wow, let's go on ahead and put this color, this color, this color, and this color. And I'm like, I throw it in the pot and I'm like, wow, I really like that. Really like that. Sometimes I have failures. Sometimes I, dye a color and I look, I'm like, man, that sucks. But but you know what happens is I put a label on it and I don't name it, and it's like, because I usually, when I dye, I don't dye like one of a color. I dye 5 to 10 at a time. So, and it's really weird because when I do that and I put those skeins out there sometimes that I hate, those are the first things that sell. It's like, how does that happen?
Everyone has different tastes.
And they really do. So sometimes you have to think, well, maybe I just need to dye things that I don't care for as much. So, because I guess my rule of thumb is, or my thought on the whole matter is, I should probably dye what I want, because eventually people are going to quit buying it all, and I'm going to have all this wonderful yarn to knit. And
Well, you've been doing it for 10 years, it seems like. No one's stopping anytime soon.
No, no, and I just love yarn. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. I love yarn.
So you travel a lot. About how many festivals do you do a year?
I quit counting over 10. I don't know anymore. I just sign up. And I try to make sure I fill out the application at the end of the show. That way I don't forget. And then I kind of look and I'm like, all right, and did I pay for that next year? Yeah, I did. I mean, it's just, I love being on the road. My husband is a house cat. He has this wonderful little man cave in the basement. It's full of guitars and drum sets and things that are really loud and boy-like. You know? I mean, if it goes boom, bang, pop and makes a crash and loud noises, he's all about it. He's a big kid. I have a child. I have a man-child I take care of sometimes. But he loves staying at home in his man cave. And I like to travel and see things and go places. So it really works out. About the time he is starting to really get on my nerves, I go on the road.
Fair enough.
That sounds great.
I think
actually,
it's
yeah.
been great for our marriage. He doesn't travel as much, and thankfully he has a full-time job. No, he just doesn't like to travel, and I love to travel. I was able to get him to go to Colorado because, ding, 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 you can buy what?
Weed.
Yay!
Weed, yay, legal.
Colorado.
And I went there. I guess the first show I did there was 3 years ago. I have stories for everything. So the first show I did there was 3 years ago. And have you guys ever been to Colorado?
Not since weed was legal.
I have not
before
been.
weed was legal.
Not
yes.
since I was 1.
Okay. So you guys should plan a trip out there. It's pretty cool. They have a lot of really neat yarn shops and a couple of really cool festivals. So I go to the Estes Park Wool Market. And
I have heard of Estes Park Wool Market.
Oh, it's great. It's awesome. It's really, really cool. You have like a wide range of all kinds of equipment. They have a huge animal shows, sheep, goats, rabbits, a little bit of everything. Their fairgrounds is really, really nice. They have this awesome air-conditioned building.
Ooh, air conditioning.
Yeah.
I appreciate that after the Kentucky Sheep and Fiber Festival this year.
And it wasn't even as bad as it's been in years past.
Yeah, Kentucky Sheep and Fiber. It's like a crapshoot. I wish it was a week or two earlier. Well, maybe not 2, because that'd be right after Maryland. But
Because of Derby. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
Derby.
yeah, and Derby too. But I wish it was a little bit earlier, because it is so miserably hot some years. Some years you're having to wear a nice warm jacket, but
or a
it's
poncho.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, there was that one year that you needed, like, swim trunks.
yeah. Oh, I think that was the first year. Was that the first or the second year?
I think second, because I
Yeah.
think we've managed to go all but 2. Mm-hmm. We didn't know about it the first year.
We didn't know about it the first year.
We went the second year, and we skipped a year because I went out of town.
Yes.
Yeah, there were a few vendors that got wet. And, here's the thing I love about the knitting, fiber, spinning, felting, all my fiber family. That's what I call everybody. You're my fiber family. I get to see you when I go to festivals, or you come to my shop or online. It's amazing. I have another story about that. But here's what I love about it. There were quite a few vendors there that got wet. There was one vendor that got wet and kind of got pissy and left. But there were other vendors that got just as wet, and they stuck it out, and people came out of the woodwork to go shop with these people, because you guys understand, it's yarn, it's going to get wet, it's not going to hurt it.
Yeah.
And it dries, yeah.
It dries. It's great stuff. But, people were coming out of the woodwork to buy things. I had another story. I had my wallet stolen once while I was setting up. I had all my cash in it, yay, me, said no one ever. But I have all my cash in it. It's stolen. And, I'm making a police report, calling the credit card companies, canceling all the cards. And the first day of the show, I had a line, just a huge line. People stacked up. Everybody's like, I'm sorry to hear about your wallet. I'm sorry. And then the next thing you know, here comes this lady in with a little bag. And she's like, oh, we found this out in the field. Because they were doing Coca-Cola. There's a manufacturing plant up here. They were doing a cleanup at the park along the creek. And whoever had stolen it had waited until they got to the creek to go through it and take my money out of it. And just dumped everything there. I didn't need to cancel the credit cards, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah,
So-
gotta be safe with that.
But yeah, I mean, it was such a good feeling to have people in the fiber community come up and really kind of just uplift me. And, it was wonderful. And I appreciate everyone so much for that. I mean, I
People are
appreciate,
really the best people.
Oh yeah.
yeah. I appreciate all my customers. They're wonderful.
Do you have a favorite festival?
Oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah, it's not even a fiber festival. I do two I do one craft show. And that's in northern Kentucky. It's the Kentucky Wool. It is not a fiber festival.
No, we
went to
actually
that
last year. Emily
Yeah.
and I did.
It is not a fiber
There was
festival.
one tent of happiness and joy.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in it.
Yes.
I bought fiber from you there.
Yes.
I like that one a lot, but I think it's because of the people that vend at that festival. But they're all wonderful. Everybody's so great. But my absolute favorite is one in Pensacola, Florida, and it's a Juried Arts Festival that I'm in.
That's cool.
Yay.
Or hopefully I am this year. They never really send anything out until later that says, hey, you're in. But usually I'm in. I should say it that way. But that's my favorite one because at the time, actually last year's the first year that Pensacola has had, they have a yarn shop. Let's just say a lot of yarn and fiber people came to my booth and they all told each other. And I was just in shock at how much wool I was selling in Florida.
Yeah.
So, but they explained it to me. They were like, well, a lot of us are from up north. We still have children up north. We like to send our projects home as gifts.
Got those snowbirds.
Right. And then if you go in the middle of the summer, it is hot, it is humid, it is miserable. Yet when you walk into a business, it's so frigid.
It's so cold because they have the AC up. I
Yeah, they
freeze
have it
anytime I go
so-
visit my parents in Florida.
it's like an ice box. So you kind of need a little shawl to wrap over.
And
But-
honestly, a lot of Floridians, once you've lived there for so long, once it gets below like 65, you're cold.
There was one year I was there and it was like 70 degrees. And they're walking around in puffy jackets. And I'm like,
yeah, absolutely.
I'm like in a tank top and shorts. And still I'm like, oh gosh, I'm so hot. Of course, I'd just been in Asheville and it had been snowing. So, there were snow flurries. And, the next day I wake up, I'm like, oh, 70 degrees. It's so hot right now. I'd be like, oh, 70 degrees. It's like air conditioning. But
Oh no, once it dips below 65, all the winter gear comes out. So they still need it.
yeah. The Pensacola Festival is one of my favorites because I
So
kind
are
of...
you like the only yarn dyer there then?
There have been several others in the past,
Wow.
but it's kind of my family has a condo down there, so it's a bit of I call it my vacation. Mm-hmm. It's my vacation show. So I do SAF, and then I go to Pensacola, and then I take about a week and a half to 2 weeks, and just let's see, after the show, I go back, I have dinner, I take a shower, I put on my pajamas, I go to sleep, I wake up and eat my leftovers. And then I sit around, watch TV, spin or knit, take a shower, go eat dinner, and rinse and repeat.
Sounds very lovely.
So that it's kind of my favorite show because it's the very last one, and it's my vacation. It's my time just to collect myself, because by then I've probably done several in a row, and I'm exhausted.
So when you're like in mid-show season, do you pack up everything from the store and put it in your trailer, or do you have like separate stock that is road stock?
I pack up everything. Well, I don't take like the commercial yarns.
Right, just your own.
Yeah, I just take my own. I might grab, I always take the needles. People love those.
Yeah.
I love Knitter's Pride. I mean, come on, let's face it, they're great.
Yeah.
But if you like Knitter's Pride, some people like Chowgoo. Some, everybody's got
I like
their.
both.
Yeah,
I like the carbons though.
I love the carbons. I'm in love with those. I told myself I had to sell so many kits before I could get a set, and I finally did. See, even I have to say about my money. Come on. But no, I just take my hand dyed and maybe some bags or needles. Try not to take too much because, every now and then I'll have like a sale yarn and I'm like, I'd really like to try to just sell this half off and get rid of it. So I might have like a basket or two of some sale yarn somewhere that's commercial, and it's usually like in the back on the ground. I don't always have that. Don't like come to the booth and say, where's your sale yarn? Because we might not have any.
I like that you have mini skeins all the time. That's fun.
I do. I haven't done the mini skeins in a while. I had some in the back, and mini skeins to me are excess. I have several things that I dye that are excess. There's a reason why my yarn doesn't really bleed. You might get a slight tint to the water, but you're not going to get bleeding. I use mini skeins and wool fiber as soakers, so it soaks up any excess dye.
Cool.
Huh. I would not
A
have
tip
thought
for
about
you
that.
dyers. All that extra yarn you have on that cone, turn it into mini skeins. Use it to soak up that excess dye. And then you'll have a little mini skein that'll complement, your yarn in case somebody needs another 20, 30, 40 yards.
So what's like a typical week for you? Like, do you dye every week?
I have gotten off a string of doing like 5 things. Well, actually, let's see. It started with Kentucky Sheep and Fiber. Then the following weekend, I was at the Middle Tennessee Fiber Festival. Weekend after that, I was at Hoosier Hills. Weekend after that, I was at Estes Park, which was the Rocky Mountains. Weekend after that, I am in the Smoky Mountains in Clinch River, Tennessee, Clinton, Tennessee, at the Clinch River Yarn Shop. Had about 7 or 8 days off. Went up to Silk Road Textiles in Cincinnati. And I can't remember your question. I was so exhausted after that. I do now.
Do you like dye every week,
Yeah.
or do you like dye a bunch?
See,
and
even
then-
just talking about all those shows in a row, I'm like, oh, please let me forget it. I've kind of forgotten it. I haven't dyed since I think like June 26th, 5th or 6th, because it's basically I'll do a show. I have 2 days and I dye about anywhere from 30 to 60 pounds of yarn in 2 days.
Damn.
That's a lot of yarn.
Damn.
Yeah,
That's a lot of fucking yarn.
that's a lot of yarn. And I kind of need a break. So now I'm kind of coming off that break. So I'm kind of glad you guys are coming because it's going to make me get my my skein winder down, and I'm going to show you guys later how we wind it here at the shop.
I'm
Everybody has
excited.
different
I'm
ways.
so pumped.
Everybody has different ways, but I'm just going to, bring it on down, let you guys pick out whatever yarn you want to dye, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun with some dye.
I'm making such an excited face right now.
I know, she is.
It's unfortunate
Mouth
that we're not a
open.
video
I
podcast at this moment.
I know, right? You'll just have to take a lot of
I'm like
pictures.
a kid at Christmas.
Yes.
Totally taking tons of pictures.
Yeah, okay.
Speaking
Yes,
of
listeners, we will definitely have a blog post up for this episode with all of the pictures and stuff. And I think we're going to try and do a little mini YouTube video. Oh, there's adorable cat pictures happening right now.
Fred is like the most photogenic cat
Oh, my
on the
cat's
planet.
like
He's adorable.
look away from the camera. He's like putting his nose all up in there like a cutie.
He, you should go look at my Instagram because I have
I have
pictures.
seen many cute pictures of Fred on your Instagram.
There's a lot of Fred on there. Fred's, even though I've just had him since 2011 and he had a prior owner, he's just really kind of, crawled or scratched his little and bitten his little way into my heart, clawed and scratched. But he's just a really cool cat. He really likes being around people. He loves attention, and he loves it here at the shop. And he just has this great attitude. Unless he's like attached to your arm with his teeth, and then that's not so great.
That's occasional.
But we had our moments. We've learned and gotten over.
So since we mentioned Instagram, would you like to tell us where people could find you on social media?
Deep Dyed Yarns.
Yep, at Deep Dyed Yarns.
Yep, I'm Deep Dyed Yarns on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter. Look, folks, I can do all this from Instagram because they have a little click button I can push. So I click it. Twitter, I still don't get. I'm sorry. I'm in my
Amber's
40s.
our designated Twitter person.
Which
Yeah.
I've been failing at recently because
Yeah.
How dare you? Work has gotten so crazy.
Twitter. I'm not good at. I post there. Anything that I post there comes from Instagram.
Nice. So maybe Instagram is the best.
It is. It is. Well, and I have a shop page on Facebook, Deep Dyed Yarns, and I think I said I was Deep Dyed Knits earlier,
That's okay.
but that's like a throwback to the Luna Bud Knits, I think.
Oh, yes.
So-
If you have heard of Luna Bud Knits, that is her former name. So
Yes.
if you have any Luna Bud Knits yarn, that's who we're talking to. So is your website deepdyedyarns.com?
It is deepdyedyarns.com.
Nice. And if you are attending a festival, it sounds like just about anywhere you could possibly visit her in
Yeah.
person.
I don't
She's
go
all over the place.
The ones that I would really, really love to get into are Maryland and Rhinebeck, but they have a waiting list that's like
Oh, I
they're
don't doubt
crazy
it.
out
Yeah.
the back door, down the road, and around a couple of blocks. But
Now, do you post a schedule? Do you have a Ravelry group or anything?
I do. I'm terrible at.
But is there a
Keeping
way
up.
that somebody can find your schedule of festivals
Yes.
that you're going to be at?
We have it in the blog section of the website,
Awesome.
and it is also. I do post it on the Ravelry group. Trust me, folks, it is like you can hear a pin drop in that Ravelry group. But if you want to see updates and have it on your watch list, I will post it there when I remember. But I do everything on. I'm getting really good at doing everything on the website.
Nice.
I'm so proud of myself.
Well, good. That way we
Yeah,
know
look her
how
up,
to.
see if she's going to be near you and you can go visit.
I do have a new one this coming up. I'm going to be doing the Michigan Fiber Festival.
Oh, cool.
And when is that?
Oh, you had to ask that. I want to say it's the 20th, 21st. I haven't put it on the website
You're asking
yet.
the hard questions.
I was about to say, Burr asks the hard questions. I don't talk much, but when I do,
It's about It's about the mid of August, midway through August. Here's the thing: when August hits, I will look up every single date and post them on the website. But yeah,
Is August your busiest month, or what's
no,
the
it's
busiest?
not. The busiest is probably going to be October because I'm going to do Kentucky Wool. That was that was my very first festival back in the day. That was my very first one.
Memories.
Someone talked me into going, and I went with a bread rack and a card table.
That's awesome.
You've expanded quite a bit since then with your
yeah.
festival setup.
Yeah, Kentucky Sheep and Wool, or no, well, Kentucky Wool. Let's not confuse that with Kentucky Sheep and Fiber. Just Kentucky Wool is in the fall. It's a big crafts festival.
It is.
And-
We were actually quite surprised because we did
Yeah.
not know what to expect. I had never been. Emily had never been.
The food is awesome there.
Oh, yeah.
We know.
The-
We ate some
the
church
fair
lady
fruit.
chicken and
Oh,
dumplings.
yeah.
Yeah, they
They-
were just rolling them out there, like the church group, just making them. We're like, yeah, we're
It
getting
was
some
amazing.
of those. We're
And
getting
we
some
had
Geta
some
balls.
giant cream puff thing.
They have the best fair food ever. That and the one in Pensacola. If you've got good food, I'm always coming. I
like
mean,
the
it's a
waffle
rule of
truck.
Oh yeah,
thumb.
the waffle truck at Kentucky Sheep and Fiber is my jam now.
Yeah, the
Always
Who
so
Wants
good.
Waffles. Did you have
Yeah.
the BLT waffle?
No.
Oh,
No,
oh, oh! I could
I had
eat
the
that
Cubano
every
waffle
day.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I could
it
eat
was
that
good.
every day.
So the Michigan Fiber Festival is August 19th through the 21st.
See, I was close. I said around the 20th.
You did.
or 20,
That was accurate.
21st. Yeah, I don't know. Don't ask me those hard questions.
Dates.
I'll
Dates.
just shut up now.
I'm terrible with dates.
No, you will not.
Yeah, no.
Naughty
no,
podcaster
don't.
talk.
But no, it's August 19th through the 21st. Yay! I haven't been there before, so if any of you guys are out, come on out and say hey.
Excellent.
I always like to meet people.
Do you have anything else you would like to tell the fine fans of Fuck This Knit?
Oh gosh, wow. See, y'all always put me in the spot with the difficult ones.
We ask the hard-hitting questions here.
Oh, maybe I should tell you about the Luna Bud Knits and why I changed the name.
That's a great idea.
Yes.
good story.
Yeah. So I used to be Luna Bud Knits. And the long story behind that is back in the 90s when I signed up for, the AOL and the Yahoo groups, my name was Luna Bud 74. Actually, I still use that at a lot of places. But it was Luna Bud 74. Look for me anywhere. Luna Bud 74, Luna Bud Knits, Deep Dyed Yarns. It all works. But Luna Bud 74 was what I used to sign up for everything. It was just something really easy, really simple. I came up with it because I had two dogs, Luna and Buddy. When I started the Etsy shop, I started out as Luna Bud, the Luna Bud Knits, and about 3 or 4 years ago, I was like, I'm really tired of this. And then actually, after I went to Estes Park the first time, it kind of clicked. Do you know how many people would come to my booth and start talking about pot?
Oh, really?
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I didn't think about that
Yeah.
either. Interesting.
Yeah, it didn't click until I went to Estes Park for the first time, and I went to one of the dispensaries, and every single dispensary almost, well, they're not, but most of them are like Star Buds or something Buds or Buds, and I was like, oh, they're talking about the pot. Oh, that's why people keep wanting to talk to me about marijuana. So I get a lot of marijuana talk, and then I'd get a few people, a couple, maybe one or two a year that would say, "Oh, are you Wiccan? Are you a witch? Are you this or that?" Because of the Luna part. Yeah. So I just thought it was time to kind of grow up and have a name that actually reflected the way that I dye my yarn. I like bright, bold, vibrant, just hot colors. I also
Same.
I like muted colors too. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a good muted color. I've got a few up there, not a lot. I've got a few. I probably need to work on some darker ones for the fall because that's, when we're getting into the fall and darker colors and not as bright and vibrant as the spring and summer. Yeah, I just love color. I think that's why I do this mainly is because I've always loved color, even as a child. I've always loved to color. I've always loved to paint. I'm not a great painter. I like to paint cute little sheep. I should have brought some to show you guys. I paint cutesy little sheep. Color's just always been really fun. I've always enjoyed it.
Awesome. So how we end the podcast is we all say "fuck it" together. So
Well, I think first we should thank.
Oh yes,
Oh, yeah.
thank you so much
Thank you
for having us
This
here.
is super
and
awesome.
Doing fun yarn stuff with us in this interview, and I'm excited.
I'm thrilled you guys came. At first it was like, I don't know how this. Are they going to do it here? Are we going to die and do a video? I don't know. What
We're
are we
gonna
going
do
to
all the things.
Of course, I kind of like doing things like that where it's kind of organic and it kind of becomes whatever it's going to become. That's kind of how I die. It's like, let's throw this in there. Let's throw that in there. Do I like it? Yeah. If not, it might be a one-off.
fly by the seat of our pants.
We always have a rough idea of what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have an outline.
But I'm so thrilled you guys came.
Yay.
Just very thrilled.
Well, thank you very much. And to everyone listening, until next time,
Fuck it.
Fuck this snitch.